Welcome back. Today we're talking about how to dust mop like a pro. As you can see, I've got my broom today. We're going back to the fundamentals. You don't need to have a very expensive vacuum or anything like that to go ahead and do a great job, but you have to be responsible on what you're going to do. So we talked about earlier about dust mopping in another video and the different types of dust mops you're going to use. What you didn't see in that video is how I'm going to prep that floor. So if you look at people that dust mop, usually they're just grabbing that dust mop and going around. You don't see my great broom that I have here. So why do I need to do, what am I going to do with a broom? Let me show you what we do here. Before I dust mop anything, I need to prep it. So what does that mean? Well, I've got to get the dust that sits between here and the wall out so I'm not pushing it back in with my dust mop handle. So I'm sweeping it out. As you can see, I have different types of dust mops here, and I want to get that dust and debris off the wall into the center of the room. So why do I do that? Well, you probably see a lot of people that just grab a dust mop like this. They come to their edges and they just put it on the floor and they're like, well, that's getting it clean. We're good here. I'm going to get it over here. But what are you really doing? Well, what you're really doing is pushing dirt back into the baseboard, or in this situation, back to this wood base coving, and then you're mopping your floor and you have dirty marks everywhere. Or you've got dust and debris, bugs, hair, stuff like that. And that's why people say, well, just vacuum. Don't dust mop, just vacuum, because then you know you're not doing that. But in large areas like this, a dust mop is more efficient. You're going to get through it faster. So back to prepping it. You got to have your old trusty broom and just sweep it. So if I'm running around this building here, I'm just going to sweep everything out. You know, like here, taking time to dust that windowsill. And I'm getting it to the open floor. Because there's no way that I would be coming through here and getting a dust mop into this area for sure. So you'll see us here always running around with a broom, hitting our edges out. So now let's say I did the entire office and my edges are clean, everything's good to go. So first things first, we're gonna use what I like to call the old school dust mop with the frame. We talked about this. This is just a fiber dust mop, probably rayon, cotton blend, something like that, where it just sits on here. I've got to remember when I'm dust mopping, kind of like our window cleaning videos. If you look at this dust mop, it's angled with the low side to where I want my dirt to go. If I angle this the other way and I get so much dirt, it's going to push it back onto the clean side of the floor. So as I'm pushing my dust mop, my high side is going to catch the dirt, and if I collect too much, it's going to push it to where I'm going next, right? So over here. So if I'm coming up, I'm going in, and similar, if this is a smaller area, just like I did with my mopping video, you notice I'm doing pulling this to me, and then if I'm, like in this scenario, coming back in to mop or to vacuum this carpet, I can lift this up, shake it over the carpet, and my vacuumer will pick it up. So if you look here, the debris that I pulled off of that floor, which looked pretty clean, there was a lot of debris in that area. So now let's say I'm doing this entire area, and I can literally go down. Again, low part, I'm right-handed, so I tend to always have it going to the, left-hand side. And then if I'm going to come up here and turn around, I'm going to swoop. And again, this part's now clean, always low side to the side that I haven't cleaned yet. And I'm pushing back through. And if you notice, I'm not turning around, I'm using my dust mop, and then I'll get right back behind it. So I see a lot of people doing a different method where they're trying to push it like a push broom, so they're always trying to stay behind it. you end up missing stuff. You're not seeing it. I'm a big proponent of staying above it and you can see the dirt. What I mean by that is if I'm here and I turn, I can see my dirt. And now I'm just stepping to the side. So it's kind of like a little dance. But what if we have a small area, right? Let's get into that. In the other video, we talked about this system where it's a Velcroed system. So if I'm in this scenario here, and this is a perfect example of why I would use this type of system, because if we look, there's areas that are really small and this guy here won't fit in that area. So for me to try to use something that's way too big for a small area, it's gonna make my floors dirty, customer's not gonna be happy. So same thing with this, you can twist it just like we did on the other dust mop. The only benefits for this are you're using that microfiber technology, so it's gonna pick up that fine dirt a lot better. And it's interchangeable. And in a lot of instances, you can use these as single use. So if you're in a medical facility, this is gonna be something that you'll see a lot there because then you could roll them up, throw them in a linen bag. But let's get into this. So same scenario. I can push it the same way, nothing changes. The only thing that changes is I turn my hand on the handle and that'll swivel for me. It's a lot lighter than that one because this is aluminum. But let's say I come into this area here and I'm like, well, that's too big. This dust mop here is gonna be way too big for that. We'll simply pull this off, grab another little one, right? So that looks exactly like the other one. And now you probably hear a lot of people say, well, the figure 8 method. That's where I would use this. So patient rooms, small areas. Why the figure 8 works well, it's like the mopping, same scenario. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna do my edges, and I'm standing in my zone, right? And now I'm gonna come back up, and I'm making 8s with my mop. That's what I mean by that. Just like when we were in school, we made 8s. Coming back out, that's gonna trap all my dust and debris. And now let's look at this. Picked up a lot more than that fiber dust mop did. So this is gonna pick up that fine hair. This is gonna pick up just all of those little pieces that we don't even see. Because I didn't see that. The floor just got cleaned. But as you can see here, this picked up a lot of that fine dust and debris. So quick review. To dust mop like a pro, you gotta go old school, bring out that broom, get those edges cleaned. And again, like we touched on here, this type of setup where you're having microfiber and quick change, interchangeable mop frames for different sizes. This is great in an environment that is a medical environment. Honestly, I prefer this everywhere I go because as we looked at here at our OctoClean headquarters, it picked up a lot more debris than our old school method here with the other just regular rayon fibers. Didn't pick up as much, right? But this is great for, let's say you're industrial, where this is gonna get so dirty, you're in a warehouse. This is great for that. And that's really where you'll see them the most. So again, I wanna thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And to our members, I really wanna give you guys a big shout out and thank you. Any questions or comments, please leave a comment below. What videos you guys wanna see, what you're struggling with, that really helps us make content. So go ahead and put that in the comment section below. Thank you again.